Every real estate agent in Texas will tell you the exact same lie. They will look you right in the eye and say, "Do not worry, real estate is a safe investment. If you ever need to move, you can always just sell it." That is the glossy brochure version of the Texas housing market. But as a professional real estate investment advisor, I am telling you to throw the brochure in the trash. Yes, Texas added more people than any other state last year. But what the agents are hiding from you is the dark side of the data. Right now, active housing listings in Texas have surged to 123,000 statewide, which is 53% higher than normal. Texas is currently the fourth most oversupplied housing market in the entire country. When supply violently outpaces demand, you fall into what investors call the liquidity trap. You buy a house, your life circumstances change, you put a "for sale" sign in the yard, and absolutely nothing happens. No offers. No showings. Just dead silence while you pay the mortgage every single month. Today, we are exposing the truth. We are counting down 6 Texas cities where the buyer pool has completely evaporated. Places where homes sit on the market for months, where panicking builders are destroying your resale value, and where your money gets trapped in the drywall. If you want to protect your net worth in 2026, grab a notepad. Let us get into the data. Number 6, San Antonio. Starting our list at number 6 is a city that shocks most out-of-state buyers, San Antonio. San Antonio is the 7th largest city in the United States, with a metro population of over 1.5 million people. On paper, a massive city with 5 military bases and a massive healthcare industry should be bulletproof. But the data says otherwise. Right now, homes in San Antonio are sitting on the market for an average of 83 days. Let that sink in. That is the longest days on market average of any major metro in the entire country. It is not just the longest in Texas, it is the longest in America. San Antonio is where homes go to sit. Overall home sales have dropped by over 10% year over year. The problem is that during the pandemic, remote workers flooded in and pushed prices up, but San Antonio does not have the massive tech industry to sustain those $600,000 prices. The median household income here is around $60,000. When the local workforce simply cannot afford the asking prices, the market freezes. Sellers are now competing against each other for a rapidly shrinking pool of buyers, resulting in price cuts across the board. If you need to sell your house fast in San Antonio right now, you are going to bleed equity. Number 5, Conroe. At number 5 is Conroe, a city of about 100,000 people sitting 40 miles north of Houston along Interstate 45. Conroe has been the target of one of the most aggressive residential construction campaigns in the state. Master-planned communities went up in every direction, and the result is a catastrophic oversupply of homes. This is the ultimate liquidity trap for recent buyers. Builders in Conroe are currently offering incredible incentives to move their excess product, rate buy-downs, closing cost credits, upgraded finishes, and free appliances. When builders start giving things away, it is because they have too much product and not enough buyers. If you bought a home in Conroe at the peak of the market in 2021 or 2022, you are now completely trapped. If you try to sell today, you are competing against brand new homes that are being sold at or below your purchase price, heavily subsidized by corporate builders. You simply cannot win a price war against a desperate builder. Every month that new homes hit the market, the resale pool gets more diluted. In Conroe, the supply is working against you every single day. Number 4, Midland. Number 4 takes us out to West Texas to Midland. Midland is a city of about 140,000 people, and it is the absolute heart of the Permian Basin. If you have followed Texas real estate, you know that Midland is the wildest ride in the state. When oil prices are high, Midland booms harder than almost any city in America, with workers flooding in and housing demand exploding. But in 2026, the cycle has reversed. Oil companies are running leaner operations with fewer workers due to automation and efficiency improvements. The workers who remain are increasingly choosing to live in temporary housing rather than buying a home in a market they know is cyclical. Because of this, Midland is facing a brutal liquidity crisis. Properties that sold for $350,000 or $400,000 during the peak are now sitting on the market listed in the low $300s, and they still have price cuts attached. Inventory is rising, and days on market are stretching. The new construction that was built during the boom is now competing directly with existing homes, dragging prices down even further. If you buy a house in Midland today, you are catching a falling knife. When it comes time to sell, you might be waiting for the next oil boom just to break even. Number 3, Harlingen. At number 3 is Harlingen, a city of about 70,000 people in the Rio Grande Valley. Harlingen is one of the most affordable cities in Texas, with median home prices sitting well under $200,000. But as an advisor, I constantly have to remind buyers, cheap is not a discount, it is a diagnosis. The liquidity trap in Harlingen is tied directly to the local economy. Cameron County has a poverty rate that is roughly double the national average. The wages are low, and the job market does not generate the kind of income that supports rapid home price appreciation. Because the buyer pool is severely limited by local wages, selling a home here is incredibly difficult. Days on market stretch for months, and price appreciation has been minimal compared to the rest of Texas. If you have a family emergency or a job relocation and need to liquidate your house quickly, you are at the absolute mercy of a slow, stagnant economy. Your money just sits there, trapped. Number 2 is Abilene, a city of about 125,000 people sitting 3 hours west of Dallas. Abilene is isolated. You are 3 hours from Dallas, 3 hours from Austin, and 5 hours from San Antonio. Because of this extreme geographic isolation, the private sector job market is very thin, heavily relying on healthcare, retail, and US Air Force Base. Resale is the hidden trap here. Buying a home in Abilene is very straightforward, but selling one requires extreme patience. Homes frequently sit on the market for months, and aggressive price cuts are standard practice just to get a showing. The population growth has been minimal for decades, which means the pool of buyers who are willing to move 3 hours away from everything is not expanding. If you buy here, you are locking your money into a market that does not reward patience with appreciation. You are trapped in the quiet corner of Texas. Number 1, El Paso. And finally, number 1 on our list of cities where you cannot sell your home, El Paso. El Paso is a massive city of about 680,000 people at the westernmost tip of Texas. It is geographically closer to Phoenix than it is to any other major Texas city. It is a 9-hour drive to San Antonio and a 10-hour drive to Dallas. That extreme isolation is the core of the liquidity problem. While the rest of Texas saw massive appreciation over the last 5 years, El Paso's home values have been flat or slightly declining. The local economy relies heavily on the military and the federal government, which provide stability but do not attract the high-income corporate migration that fuels real estate demand. Selling a home in El Paso requires finding a buyer who specifically wants to live 9 hours from the nearest Texas metropolis. That buyer pool is incredibly small. And a small buyer pool means less competition, which means less appreciation, which means your home is completely failing as a financial investment. El Paso is a great place to live, but financially, it is the ultimate liquidity trap. Those are the 6 cities in Texas where the real estate market has frozen over. As an investor, you must understand that real estate is an illiquid asset. You cannot sell a house with the push of a button on your phone. If you buy into an oversupplied market like Conroe, or a flat, isolated market like El Paso, your cash is trapped. When you are looking to buy in Texas in 2026, you cannot just look at the listing price. You must look at the days on market data. You have to audit the builder inventory down the street. You have to ask yourself, if I lose my job tomorrow, who exactly is going to buy this house from me? The industry wants you to be prey. They want you to buy the house and figure out the resale later. But on this channel, we turn prey into predators. If you want an expert in your corner who tracks the hard data, exposes the traps, and gives you the exact strategies you need to protect your wealth, hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a comment below. Have you tried to sell a house in Texas recently? How many days has it been sitting on the market? I read every single comment, and our community learns from your experience.